All right. So, generally, I try to phrase arguments and be cordial enough and open minded enough not to piss anybody off, but it's very difficult not to piss off Ayn Rand followers because I just really don't have any appreciation for her philosophy. I'll just be honest. Um, yeah, intelligent person. I've read Fountainhead and Anthem. That's it. And I've read secondary sources referring to Ayn Rand. Um, my opinion of her is that she is metaphysically naive, and well, a lot of objectivists would say, well, yeah, for good reason, because metaphysics are bullshit. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about that. Metaphysics are the foundation of our knowledge of the world. You can say that's epistemology, but metaphysics are the basis of reality. And whatever our metaphysics are, it follows from that what our view of reality is going to be. And Ayn Rand just doesn't want to deal with metaphysics because there's nothing objective about it. But that doesn't mean that reality is all about objectivity. And I say she's metaphysically naive because basically, her metaphysics is existence exists, and from there, she derives all of these objective, logical conclusions, deductions. But one of her metaphysical assumptions is that the ego is a substantially real entity. And her ethics are totally based on the ego and the idea that selfishness is beneficial because if everybody just looks out for themselves, there's no confusion, there's no complexity, it's just simple. I look out for my own, you look out for your own, and we're all happy, and nobody's pretending to be, more caring than they really are, because basically, in her view, we're all just selfish animals who are concerned with our own self-interest always, and we shouldn't try to pretend like we're not. Now, there's definitely a lot of people that think that way, but to say that that is the metaphysical truth for all human beings, in my opinion, is total bullshit. Um, the way I see it, my metaphysics, is that the ego is not the basis of my existence. In fact, it's a rather um, illusory, almost non-existent, other than nominally, than the names we give it and the uses we have for it in our language. It's not an entity. It exists nowhere in the world. There's my body, but my body grows out of my mother's womb, and it's not stable, and my personality is always changing depending on the people I'm with and the situations I'm in, and so forth and so on. The ego is not, in my opinion, a stable basis for any kind of ethics. Ethics, in my view, are only you can only have legitimate ethics when people get rid of this attachment to some ego, some illusory idea or image of themselves that I don't think is really exists or is substantial in any way. My ethics would be that, look, nobody has an ego, and therefore we should all be compassionate for one another because none of us know who we are. None of us have a stable identity. All of us are suffering, and therefore we're here together, and we should look out for one another. Look out for myself. Well, what if looking out for myself includes looking out for others? What if that is genuinely what motivates me and what makes me feel good, is being compassionate to others? What else don't I like about Ayn Rand? That's it, I guess. As far as Zeitgeist, the movie goes, I watched it a few days ago, and I really liked the first part about astrology and religion. Very interesting. I don't think to me, it doesn't make existence any less mystical to say that. It just says, wow, Our whole culture is based on the movements of the stars. So look how connected we are to heaven, right? Metaphorically speaking. Um, the other two parts, what was the second part about? 9/11, and the third part about the World Bank, I guess. That's some scary shit, and it is definitely an argument worth considering. I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out what to do about it. I mean, I'm supporting Ron Paul, and he seems to be the only candidate aware of these issues, or at least aware of them in the sense that he wants to change them. As far as arguing with creationists, you can't argue with creationists. What are you going to convince them of? They believe in the specific interpretation of God and reality, so leave it at that. There's nothing more to add. You can't debate with those people because they don't want to change their minds. They're not open to rational argument. So atheists love to argue with creationists. I don't even have any interest whatsoever in doing that because I don't think it gets anywhere, which is why, you know, atheism for me just doesn't seem like a very mature type of position to be in, at least if you're the kind of atheist that's constantly looking for believers to sort of make fun of or argue with or something because it makes you feel so smart because you're not, you know, ignorant enough to believe in some dogma, you know, which I guess, yeah, okay, you're a little bit smarter because you don't do that, but, you know, just leave them alone. Let them, you know, politically they're influencing our country and the world in a very negative way, and, you know, granted, they should, that shouldn't continue, but you can't fix it by arguing with them. You fix it by educating children to be able to think for themselves instead of being raised by these religious fanatics that convince them that, you know, that Christians go to heaven and that God is on their side and everybody else is evil. Tyler, come here. So yeah, what else? What else? That's it. See you later.